A candle the size of your thumb helped soldiers survive temperatures that killed faster than bullets. That sounds impossible. But during World War II winters, this tiny flame became the difference between life and death for thousands of men trapped in frozen forests, bombed-out cities, and snow-covered trenches. And here's the part most people never hear. It wasn't meant to heat a room. It was designed to keep the human body alive, just long enough. This is the story of the survival heat candle, one of the smallest, smartest and most overlooked survival tools of the Second World War. World War II wasn't just fought with guns and tanks, it was fought against nature itself. Winters in Europe were brutal, especially on the Eastern Front and in the mountains and forests of Northern Europe. Temperatures dropped well below freezing. Winds cut through uniforms. Snow buried supply lines. And frostbite could cripple a soldier in hours. Hypothermia wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Hands went numb. Judgment failed. Men stopped shivering. And then they didn't wake up. Armies quickly learned that staying warm wasn't a comfort issue. It was survival. But traditional heat sources weren't always possible. Fires gave away positions. Fuel was scarce. And soldiers on the move couldn't carry stoves or heavy gear. What they needed was something small, reliable, cheap, and deadly simple. That's where the survival heat candle came in. This wasn't an ordinary candle meant for light or atmosphere. Wartime heat candles were compact, dense, and designed to burn steadily for hours. Many were made from paraffin or wax, mixed with additives to control burn rate and reduce smoke. Some were packaged in small tins. Others came as thick, stubby sticks wrapped in paper or foil. The key wasn't brightness, it was heat output. One candle alone wouldn't warm a room, but it didn't need to. Used correctly, it created a pocket of warmth, enough to prevent hypothermia inside a shelter, a coat, or even a helmet-lined bivouac. And armies didn't issue them as luxuries. They issued them as lifelines. Here's the interesting part. The human body doesn't need a lot of external heat to survive. It just needs help slowing heat loss. In freezing conditions, the biggest danger isn't the cold itself. It's how fast your body loses warmth. A small, steady heat source placed close to the body can, dramatically reduce that loss. Soldiers learned to use heat candles inside improvised shelters. Foxholes were covered with tarps or canvas. Snow was piled as insulation. The candle went in the lowest, safest spot, warming the trapped air without creating visible flames outside. Inside coats, men used them briefly to warm hands, boots, or metal equipment that could cause instant frostbite. In emergency shelters, one candle could raise the internal temperature enough to keep someone alive through the night. It wasn't comfort. It was survival math. Lighting a fire in wartime could get you killed. Smoke, light and smell gave away positions instantly. Heat candles solved that problem. They burned with a low, controlled flame. Minimal smoke, low light, no crackling, no sparks. In occupied cities and resistance hideouts, civilians used them the same way. Basements, attics, and sealed rooms where fires were impossible became survivable spaces with a single candle placed carefully. Cold doesn't just attack the body, it attacks the mind. Men freezing in darkness lost morale fast. Panic set in. Fatigue turned into despair. A candle flame, even a tiny one, gave something priceless focus. This wasn't only a military solution. Civilians across Europe relied on heat candles during blackouts, bombings, and fuel shortages. Large heaters required fuel and space. Fires required safety and, well, visibility. Blankets helped, but only if you weren't already freezing. Lessons modern survivalists should not ignore. This is where history gets practical. The heat candle teaches a core survival principle. Manage heat loss. Don't fight the environment head-on. Why was this tool forgotten? Well, after the war, central heating spread. Cheap fuel returned. Cold became really just an inconvenience, not a threat. The legacy of the survival heat candle. Thousands survived World War II winters not because of advanced technology, but because someone understood human limits. They understood that a little warmth at the right moment could stop death in its tracks. That tiny flame wasn't heroic. It wasn't loud. It didn't win medals, but it kept people breathing. And in survival, that's everything. If you want more forgotten survival knowledge like this, real techniques tested by history, make sure you subscribe to Legacy of Survival. Like the video if this story surprised you. Share it with someone who thinks survival is all gadgets and gear. Because sometimes the smallest tools carry the longest legacy.